Yes. Yes, isn't this nice? KUHSdenver.com in the studio with us right now. I've got some beautiful people doing some beautiful things, and so it's going to be awesome. So you want to stick around, check it out, and I want to turn it over to them so you know who's in the house. Mary Elitch and Michael Bliss coming up right now.
Well, hello. My name is Michael Bliss, and this is Mary Jane as Mary Elitch.
Hello, everyone out there.
And we are so honored to have Mary here today because we want to talk a little bit about the Children's Day International Film Festival that is coming up on November 10th and November 11th. And the really cool thing about this festival is everyone from the ages 18 and under are welcome to come, and it's free. And so this is honoring Mary Elitch and her legacy with the Children's Day International Film Festival. And so 18 and under are free. And so all you got to do is go to etfest.com to check out all the films. We have Beauty and the Beast playing. And we have Coco, so those will kick off the festival. And so Coco will be on November 10th, and that starts at 11 a.m. And Beauty and the Beast starts at 11. I may have said 10. 11 a.m. And then on Sunday, on November 11th, we will have Beauty and the Beast. And then we have the best of the New York Children's International Film Festival, and that'll be the next block. And then block 3 will be independent films from all over the world and featuring a lot of local talent and just some great children's independent films. But I wanted to give the mic over to Mary Elitch here and have her talk a little bit about the legacy of Mary Elitch and about Children's Day. So can you tell us a little bit about the Children's Day and what this legacy is all about?
Well, back a long time ago, in the 1890s, my husband, John Elitch, started the Elitch Zoological Gardens, and it sort of blossomed into an amusement park. And as you see now, the amusement park, the Elitch Gardens Amusement Park, is still carrying our name. We started a Children's Day, a free Children's Day. I started it up in the 1900s, excuse me. I just wanted to have a fun place and a very safe place for children to come, where they can enjoy all kinds of amusements and having fun all day long. I also had classes that the children could take. I had dancing classes and art classes, just learning about a lot of different things.
And that's really that legacy that we are working on too, not only with the Children's Day Film Festival, but also with our Elitch Theater Academy. Is we are doing acting classes. We're going to get some dancing classes. We just had a workshop that talked about the Trocadero and what Mary Elitch used to do, with
the types of dancing.
And Mary was there, and it was a beautiful workshop.
It was wonderful. I learned more than I thought I knew, and I'm 162 years old.
And you look great.
Thank you.
So with the Elitch Theater Academy, you could also follow us on etfest.com and get all the information about the Children's Day International Film Festival. And tell us a little bit more about how Mary worked with the kids and how she loved animals and about the zoo and her bears. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Oh, I absolutely love animals, and I used to have 2 little bears in my zoo. One occasion, the little bears decided they wanted to skip their little town where I had caged up in, and they started roaming around the park. Well, the caretakers were so upset they couldn't get them back into their cages. But they called on me, and I decided to just get my little broom, and I squished my skirts, and I squished my broom, and they went back into their cage. No harm. And I also had 2 lions, which were absolutely beautiful. One of the actresses that came to Elitch Gardens Theater, her name is Miss Sarah Bernhardt, very, very famous actress. She appeared on our stage for one day only, doing 2 performances that day. But in between the performances, I took her around the zoo and showed her the animals, and we just enjoyed our walk around the park. She decided to go up to the lioness's cage, and she stuck her hand inside of the cage and started caressing the lioness. And I was very nervous about that. Well, much to my chagrin, she kept petting the lioness, and the lioness started purring and absolutely loved it. So I named my lioness Sarah.
Oh, that is so cool.
It was a wonderful time, and with the children absolutely love the animals in the zoo, and with all the children's activities going on, they actually, I don't know if I told you this, but the children, I invited the children to come to the Elitch Gardens on Tuesdays. They're called Tuesdays Children's Day, and they come for free. And I have all kinds of fun activities for them to do. The acting, they learn how to act, and they learn about the theater, and just a lot of exciting things going on Tuesdays Children's Days.
And in honor of that, that is why we are doing it for 18 and under, get admission for free. But you do need to be with an adult. So you can purchase the adult tickets at etfest.com. But back then, the parents just loved Mary and the botanical gardens and the zoo and the arts that they actually trusted her with 3,000 children a week, right?
The parents, there was a trolley that would go from Denver to the Elitch Zoological Gardens, and the trolley would drop off the children. The parents would actually put their children on the trolley, and they would get dropped off at the front entrance of the Elitch Gardens, and the children could come in and just have a really fun day. And children were safe. They were, the parents felt secure in leaving their children off. These days, I probably would not suggest that.
Yeah, we have teenagers, and we're still nervous about putting them on the light rail. Back then it was the trolley. Now it's the light rail, and you know it's a little iffy sometimes.
It depends on what kind of teenager you have. Yeah, I used to tell my kids to go dodge semis on the highway. Oh, and you know, you were going to introduce me to Mary. We were going to try to get something going because you say I'm older than dirt.
Well, that must make me older than dirt.
Well, he says that because, you know, you come from the 1800s to the 1900s, and so you're 160.
My, what a change, too.
162 is
162.
So she found the fountain of youth, right?
Yes, the fountain of youth. And I think that's part of the Elitch Theater. It is a magical place. It really is. And the sad thing about the theater right now is on April 16th, there was that windstorm that a gust of wind blew off the backstage roof, the flyhouse roof, and some of it landed on top of the 128-year-old theater and damaged the theater. So right now the theater is closed. So with what we're doing with the Children's Day events, the proceeds all goes towards helping out our programming, keeping the theater alive, and keeping things going. So we're not at the theater with this. This will be at the Bug Theater. They graciously opened up their theater to help us out so we could keep our programming going. And then with the Elitch Theater Academy, we have studio space where we are doing our classes and events. So, so again, this helps out the theater, the Elitch Theater, and our goal is, you know, to restore the theater and hopefully open it up very soon. So
What's the progress on that right now?
Well, right now we've got construction crews, going in, and we've got some of the insurance money. So right now we are moving forward, and that is the good thing, that things are moving forward. So we're very excited, and we're hoping, really by 2020 to have the doors open again. So that's the big goal, 2020.
Are you going to try to get that air conditioning or some sort of air filtering going on?
Well, it's one step at a time. Right now, we'll see what we can do. So, but the ultimate goal, it's 2020. Yeah. So, but with the Children's Day International Film Festival, the Elitch Theater Academy, we also do, and Mary loved the arts. We also do our live third Friday open mic, and that's at Denver Open Media. And we've been doing our Tennyson Street photography walks, and Mary Elitch has been a part of that too on our walks, and her work is currently up at Denver Open Media. And today we're switching it down with a new Tennyson Street gallery, and so we're going to have a big opening for First Friday at Denver Open Media starting at 7 p.m. So a lot of people have really, opened up to us and opened up their venues, and even Henry has had us come in and talk about what's going on, and that's what it's about. The community support,
the
collaborations, working together, promoting each other, and that's what's real important. With KUHS and Bliss Fest and the
we talked about that earlier, you and I, about how sometimes the social media platform can get a little shaky going through it. But we get through it. And, if you watch Bliss Fest, they've got lots of good events going on. You want to go and check them out. They're great.
Yeah, partnering up and doing this film festival. We've had our film festival going since 1999. And so now partnering up with the Elitch Theater and Mary Elitch and the legacy of Children's Day, we're also partnered up with the New York Children's International Film Festival. And the cool thing is we've partnered up with the International Youth Silent Film Festival. And so it all ties into the Elitch Theater, and Thomas Edison in 1896, he screened his first silent films there at Elitch Theater. And so we're doing that full circle. And with our Elitch Theater Academy, we taught a film class for young filmmakers, and we created the silent film Steampunk Cowboy, which will be premiering at the Children's Day International Film Festival. So that full circle and that legacy, like we're talking about, the legacy of the theater, the legacy of Mary Elitch, and just building community and working together.
Have you ever thought of recreating her husband? From back in the day, and just have him come in a period?
Oh, I would love that.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just the recreation of him.
Johnny.
Yeah. Would you think that would be cool?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about John.
It's because of John Elitch that this whole thing is even taking precedence and taking place, because John, when I first met John Elitch, I was a very young girl, very impressionable, of course, but I fell in love with him very quickly after we met, and we decided, my parents didn't want us to get married, but we decided that we would sit back, But we had a wonderful relationship. We never had children, but John taught me about the arts, and he took me to my very first live theater performance at a theater in San Francisco. And it was I just fell in love with it. I just had so much fun, and I appreciated the work of the actors and actresses and all the people that are involved in putting on the live production. And there is a lot of people it takes a lot of work and a lot of knowledge to be able to put on a live production. And just because of John Elitch, this is his I wanted to just keep his legacy alive.
Yeah.
Of the theater, and he did vaudeville. He loved to do acting. His acting abilities brought him out to San Francisco, where he decided to pass away. We only were married for, I think it was 12 years. But it was a wonderful, wonderful relationship. We wanted to keep John's.
So John, he went out there, caught pneumonia, and passed away. And he didn't actually get to be at the opening of the theater that we see today, right?
No, unfortunately, I came back, I went on to San Francisco for this funeral, and as a matter of fact, he is buried in the Fairmont Cemetery.
Is he next to Mary? Oh yeah, I forgot. But this is her ghost.
Michael.
What were we talking about?
The ghost of Mary.
Right after Halloween, right?
So anyway, we wanted to open the theater, the newer theater, and he was not able to attend the grand opening of that. The one that you actually see at the Tennyson Street. There's the Carousel Pavilion, and also the original Elitch Theater, the historic Elitch Theater, is still there on the premises where the old Elitch used to.
Yeah.
So it's still hanging on.
Now, Michael, tell us about the facility. Now, it's got old lumber and old stuff in it. Now, when you go to renovate it, how do they get that renovated with the all this old lumber? How do you fix that?
Well, I'm not at the construction.
No, but I mean,
on the outside of the theater, when they were remodeling and refurbishing the outside of the theater, which was the phase one of the restoration.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that was phase one, and they actually had to work with the same materials in order to be considered an historic landmark. They have to use the same types of woods. And
they got to go out and hunt them down, find them, recreate them, put them back.
And that the funny thing is when we built the place, it was actually we put some of the main supports of the building were actually shored up with rocks and stones and things like that. Yeah. So it was quite revealing when they went in there to do the remodeling.
And it's a huge process because they have to go through all that and really look at the past.
Look at it, write it all down about how to reconstruct it back into its proper state.
Yeah.
Or its original state.
Yes.
Because it is a historical landmark.
The inside of the building, because of the fact that it was heavily damaged, right now no one is allowed inside the building because of there's several structural issues.
Yeah, cinder blocks from the top. It was like a boomerang or slingshot, and it flung those cinder blocks, and it landed on the top and broke some of those structural boards. So it's unsafe right now.
Actually, the cinder blocks actually tore through the roof of the original building, and it's
so heavily damaged, and that's what we're working on, and it is a slow process because of all that needs to be done.
Yes.
And the being a historical landmark.
And we're really trying to get the word out there to people that hopefully maybe have deep pockets and can be very generous to the cause of the historic Elitch Theater and keeping John Elitch's main thing.
And the legacy, and that is what's important. And I'm glad you brought up John because we say so much about Mary and everything that Mary did, but the legacy starts off with John and the vision and the restaurant in Denver, and it's just an amazing story. You know, you look up and see all the old photographs, and it's just so amazing the history of that theater and the grounds there. Because really, how I got started was as a kid, because I'm a native, was born here, and grew up going to the amusement park, and I wasn't into theater. I was there for the amusement.
What did you ride?
Well, of course, the Twister and the Wildcat, and now they have the Twister 2 at downtown location.
Now, do they still have those big mirrors that would bend you and twist you?
Those were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen them? Did they do away with them, or were they?
I'm sure they have some mirrors there. I don't recall it.
I think they do.
I mean,
have some
usually in most amusement
mirrors.
parks.
But
But
no, they had them right there by the theater.
no, we don't have any of the mirrors
No.
there. What's left is the theater and the carousel shell.
There is one tree
Yep.
that has
I was thinking about
survived
that.
that actually has it's on the southeast corner of the theater, and there's a tree there that actually has a portion of I believe it's a sign, a metal signpost that is growing through the tree. That the
Yeah.
tree grew around it.
Yep. And so
It's
that's still
incredible.
there, and it's
Mhm.
right on the side of the theater. If you are
Southeast
walking
corner
up to the theater, it's on the left side as you're walking
to the front
through.
entrance.
Yep, on the left side, and you can see that tree there, and that's a big part of history right there.
That tree has
And
lasted
speaking
all
of
this
the
time.
speaking of, if you walk towards the theater on the left side, which is on the south side of the theater, the southeast side, during that windstorm, the awning, which has been there for many, many, many years, was completely destroyed.
Completely. And
demolished
and
by
the
the roof
scary thing is
of
we
the
were
house.
working on an event, and I was over there with Tracy, our president of the board, and we were working on our Harry Potter event. We were standing right underneath that colonnade there,
Wow.
and then we left, and that's when all that windstorm
Came up. Thank
came,
God.
and then I got a call to
devastating.
go over there, and that whole thing collapsed. And so if you go over there, you can see where that collapsed. You can see where the tree is with that post with where the sign needs to be.
I remember getting an email from Tracy that was talking about the windstorm and the damage to the theater. So I got in my horseless carriage really quickly and drove over there, and I was just devastated. I started crying.
Oh.
It was just
There's been a lot of tears shed because of all the progress, and then it's like, making those steps forward, and now a few steps back. So we want to, make those steps forward again, and really get this. We're hoping this is like an eye opener for people, because this is such a historical landmark. The history, just
very
look up
important, and
Mary
for the
Elitch.
history of Denver's history.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'd like to say thank you to you, Michael, and to everyone out there who has been so supportive of the historic Elitch Theater. Without you, we wouldn't have even survived. And I'd just like to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, all of you.
And it's just such a passion. The more I learn about Mary, the more I learn about the theater, the more I learn about the grounds and the carousel. It's something that I cherish, and that I just have this passion for. And that's why we are creating this Children's Day International Film Festival, because it's just so amazing that Mary actually can handle 3,000 kids, because I can't even handle my own kids.
Tell them to go dodge semis on the highway.
It's amazing, and she never even had kids.
I know.
So
isn't that amazing?
everybody all these kids were her kids,
Yes.
and the animals, and so it's just such
Lots of kids.
lots of kids, 3,000 kids a week, and so
Most
that
of them were the same, though, I have to tell you.
oh, I bet.
We had a few new ones every once in a while, but most of the time the children would just come up, and I knew a lot of them by name. In fact, one little young lady came up, and she would actually draw cartoons and portraits of things that had to do with Elitch, the gardens. She became very famous. I think she was a New York artist. She moved to New York City. She was just phenomenal. A lot of people, speaking of famous people.
Oh, yeah.
The theater.
Vincent Price is one of my favorites that have been through the theater.
Oh, and if you've ever heard of Cecil B. DeMille,
one of my favorite
directors.
directors.
On the English theater stage.
Yeah.
Just a lot of incredible artists. In fact, if you want to look up the historic EnglishTheater.org,
correct.
There's a lot of information on there about the Elitch Theater. You can find out about the history, a little bit about the history, and also on Facebook. Just a lot of good photographs.
Yep, we've been keeping the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages updated. We do have a YouTube that we're putting videos on. So keep watching that. Look up Historic Elitch Theater on all those social media platforms. We have all the updates of the films, and if you scroll down, you can see a lot of the older photographs. And so a lot of information that you can look up. And again, 18 and under are free in honor of Mary Elitch and John.
And John.
And, and then you can also go to etfest.com to check out a full lineup of the films and everything we are doing.
It's interesting that, in this day and age, we were talking earlier about how social media, you can have all these platforms where you can see everything. And now you can post all your videos, you can post everything that you're doing, so people can get an idea of what's going on out there. As opposed to how it used to be, you'd have to go on a website or something to see all this stuff. And now, the advent of all the social media, you can watch the movies, the films, the components that all go with what you're doing. You can see everything. It's really nice. So if you want to check that out, you've got YouTube, you've got Instagram, Facebook, all the places where you can go check all this great information. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yep, Historic Elitch Theater, and theater is spelled Theatre. I used to keep spelling it the wrong way.
I always did too.
Both ways are correct,
yeah.
But the Historic Elitch Theater is the Theatre.org.
Yeah, that's the correct way.
In steampunk,
it's the English way.
You have there was this photo you took that you were wearing a steampunk outfit. You have these glasses, and that's one awesome, outfit that you have.
Well, I would really love, once we do get the theater open, to really get that steampunk community
back
to come by and just do some photographs, because that theater really fits that theme very well.
I was going to say that. And so that would be really cool. And the one that you were wearing, I think it was a white outfit and you had the glasses and everything like that. Man, that's cool. It just reflects that.
The whole steampunk fashion. So the cool thing talking about steampunk with our silent film, Steampunk Cowboy, we will have a short, informative talk about what steampunk is all about with Airship Iron Opal. They are a local group based out of Denver that will be there talking about steampunk and that whole era of what steampunk is. So if you don't know what steampunk is, I love the fashion. It ties in with
the fashion is just incredible.
Ties in with the 1800s, right?
Early
1900s with the Industrial Revolution. Right before that, and this outfit with gadgets and steam and locomotives, so it ties into the westerns and all that, and so it's a really fun. And you'll have to check out, Steampunk Cowboy. We have Kalen Becker. He is our youth featured filmmaker, and so he really loves silent films. So he's got a couple of silent films he'll be showing, and a few other films that have won other awards. We've kind of mixed it up. So we have an adult filmmaker, and we have Kalen's grandfather that used to shoot with Super 8 as another one of our featured filmmakers. And so it's those generations, that we really want to bring to the theater
tie in
because
all the generations.
Yes.
Because this is, families are generational.
yes,
And
exactly.
having community events like this, every community event that we have is family oriented, and we like to just promote the families because
That's what's important,
those are
especially
wonderful.
with this day and age and with the
Everything tries to
phones.
pull you apart. We're
Even
trying to bring people together.
social media, can isolate you.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
We were talking. There's got to be a whole show on this.
Yeah.
About how social media is being used in all these different formats for different people, and even when people talk about your English language, how you write it, it can be misinterpreted. Like you may say, "Go to this Elitch theater and blah blah blah." And you miss
That one
miss
R.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something there.
And put it in the wrong place,
Yeah.
and you won't find it.
Or thanks to spell checker.
Yeah.
That
It
messes
rewrites-
up mine all the
It just
time.
rewrites something else. Like I didn't write that. Yeah, you did.
That's where
And I'm
editing comes in.
blocking. And I'm blocking you for that.
And the worst thing, like with autocorrect and spell checker, it's always messing up when I type in Bliss Fest. It's putting it in wrong, and then I, post it, and I'm spelling it wrong, but it's actually autocorrect is doing it wrong. And so it's so embarrassing that I'm spelling the festival the wrong way, but it's autocorrect that's doing it.
Yep.
And that happens a lot. But, social media, like you say, it can, you go to some of these restaurants, you'll see a man and lady couple over there, and they're both looking down at their phone, not even discussing or talking to each other.
Oh, yeah. And, like I said,
Social skills are seem to be a little bit lacking these days, and we'd like to pull
the
people
community.
And that's
to
what this is
make-
about.
to just really have people react to each other and just enjoy each other's company without everyone sitting on their phone and doing
Exactly.
individual things. We want to
Bring it
Bring
together
people
where they
together.
can have that experience of sitting in a theater together, creating that unity in the community, and just that whole legacy of what Mary was all about, of bringing the community together, to bring the city together, to bring the generations together, families together.
Or even put, if they come to the theater, all phones must be off for the first 10 minutes. No, really. And then you enjoy for the first 10 minutes, then you can turn back on.
No phone.
No phones. Put them all
And
around.
that's
We're
the
gonna talk.
great thing about Alamo Draft House. They will boot you out if you are caught on your phone. You got to get out, and you can't be late either. They have that etiquette there.
I like that. That's slick.
Yeah. So if you're late for a film, they boot
Sorry.
you out. And Alamo's been a great sponsor, and also that's where we do Bliss Fest. Is at the
And get
Alamo
off your
Draft House.
phone. I mean,
Yep,
it's like-
get off your phone.
Cell phones
Well,
are.
but if you're on it right now, go ahead and stay on it.
It's funny that.
if you're watching this production,
Yeah.
we appreciate that. But we do like to have you go and associate and communicate with others.
Yes.
Well, what's
Just-
interesting,
Not just sit on Facebook all the time. Or,
Instagram or
yes.
Pinterest or Snapchat or any of the other ones that are out there. It's like, Jesus, right?
Well, the great thing about, Elitch Theater and what we are doing is building those relationships. I mean, that's how I met you. And then I met Henry through Denver Open Media, who is another one of our partners.
Yes.
And now Henry and I have been working together, gosh, what is it, 3.5, 4 years
Yes,
now?
a long time.
Yeah. And so I've seen Henry grow. He's seen us grow.
Yeah,
He's gone to our events. We've gone to his events.
And you've helped us out on some of these big events. Doing some filming for us because you're a great producer, So you guys have known Michael, this great producer. He knows how to run that camera. He knows how to capture the moment.
And a great photographer.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's what he's all about.
Well, and it's funny because my wife, she kind of gets tired of me stopping. We go on walks and here I'm taking photos.
Stop.
And,
Let me get that.
and so my new thing is I'm a historical photographer.
Is that historical or hysterical?
Hysterical. He's a hysterical, historical
But
photographer.
I
Bonnie is a
do.
sweethart too, by the way.
I do look at it, and yep, she's my love. I better put that up there. She is my love.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah,
You better clear the air.
But anyways, it is the whole thing. That's why I love taking photos at the theater. love taking photos of everything we're doing because we are creating a new history and a new legacy.
History is being made
Yes.
as we progress. We're trying to carry on the history of the historic Elitch Theater as we progress in making new history. And right
Exactly.
now we are making new history.
And being very
you all can
creative.
be a part of this.
Being very creative, that we can't be at the theater, so how can we take it elsewhere but keep that legacy going?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so important that, with Denver Open Media, their station streams just like KUHS all over the world and is on Comcast. So that is another way we are reaching out. Through KUHS, we're reaching out through this station, and this is streaming live too.
And then the other thing that's coming about, like I told you, we're going to now be able to stream simultaneously on 6 platforms.
Yeah, and that's amazing. The technology
has stepped up that far,
that you're able to stream live on multiple platforms, and then that carries that history and that legacy. So sharing those photographs, the early photographs of Mary and her bear. She's in the bear cage with the 2 little bears, and I'm like, did any of them ever I am terrified of bears. Like I can even imagine.
I had them since they were very young, so they were used to it.
Yeah, but it makes me think of the documentary. I think it was called Grizzly Man.
Yeah,
where the guy thought he could go out and just live with the bear,
and one of them finally got him.
Yeah, and so that I think I'm watching that and just that the Mary just being out there and having these bears and lions and ostriches and
lions and tigers and bears.
The whole history of that it was a zoo, that it was a botanical garden and a
I was
theater.
The first woman in history to be the owner and operator of a zoo. And also, I was managing owner of the Elitch Theater and managing the Manhattan Beach Theater at the same time.
Wow.
I was
and that burned, did that burn down twice, or what did they rebuild? Because I know it burned down.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. But I've seen photos of that over at Sloan's Lake.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was where the Manhattan Beach was.
Yeah.
Sloan's Lake.
Yeah. And then you have Lakeside, and that was just like an amusement corridor right there.
All kind of, yes.
Yeah.
About 5 miles west of Denver.
Yeah. And so now
people wanted to get away from the city to go to London.
Yeah, it was like a getaway. It really was.
We were actually kind of considered a museum because the actors and actresses that we would go to New York City to find actors and actresses that would be in our productions. When they went back to their theaters back in New York City, and people found out that they had come to the Elitch Gardens, they would kind of got the hoo-hoo, like, oh, well, they're spoiled now. They got to go to the Elitch Gardens to act.
Do you remember the population of Denver back in the Elitch Gardens of the day?
Oh, now you're really. I'm too old.
What do you think of that question?
Well, it's so sad with all the amusement parks that are closing down. Heritage Square just closed down, and they just auctioned all the rides off and all the games just like last week, which is so sad because that is another part of history that ties in to Disney. It was going to be a Magic Mountain.
I used to love to go up to Heritage Park. They used to have all kinds of nice things going up there. And they had this slide that
the Alpine slide.
I always like to get on that slide and come down. I thought I was going super fast. I thought I was just zooming down that mountain. Did you ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And my aunt and uncle got married in the chapel there.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. So, So that's gone now, too. And so it's
marriage or the chapel?
No, the chapel. They're still married. But, and so that is why it's so important to really, keep an eye on what we're doing with Historic Elitch Theater, and donate to this.
Speaking of that, the donations, if you recall, there's a thing called Denver KUHS,
Denver
which is
KUHS.
coming up, I believe,
Yes.
in early December, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure exactly. But you
That's
can
a
look
good
it up on
way.
the web.
That is a
on,
great way.
on the website. Speaking of web. But we really would strongly suggest, or if we can just put a little bug in your ear that during that time of Denver KUHS, please open your wallets and donate to the historic theater. We really would appreciate it.
Denver KUHS is one of the best ways to donate. And you could,
Denver KUHS.
Denver KUHS. Denver KUHS. Denver KUHS.
Denver cares.
You better get that fixed, Michael.
Denver does care. Denver KUHS. Because Denver cares.
That was a good save. You hear his save on that one? He jumped on that quick.
Let's care, Denver. Denver gives.
Good improv. That's good improv.
So, yes, you can look that up, Historic Elitch Theater at Denver Gives.
It's going to be all
we really
good.
appreciate we appreciate all that you've done and all that you're going to do.
And now as you go up to Tennyson, where everything is located, there's all this new buildup going on around there. And so this theater is just going to be such a beautiful sight as you go around the area. The neighborhood is completely changed. And you go see this beautiful theater that's being renovated. It's going to be so nice to see that. That's going to draw so much
We
attention.
can hardly wait to get to have live productions there.
Yeah,
In the future.
and you know, the great thing is with our Tennyson Street photography walks, with all of the photographers that have been a part of that, that's creating a history in itself too, because of us walking the streets, taking photographs of the businesses, and the neat thing is, we're sharing those photographs, but who knows, in the future, someone will be sharing these photographs, 100 years from now.
Say,
wow.
Oh, look at that. That was way back then.
And we've just, like I said, been so creative. We went on our bighorn sheep photography walk just a few weeks ago up Waterton Canyon, and that was absolutely beautiful. We got so close to the bighorn sheep; they were right on the path there.
So those are the ones that go up the side of a mountain?
Yes, they do. They climb a cliff.
Yes, and you wonder, and if they fall, they catch themselves.
They do. We did see a couple fall, and it was like, it's like no problem.
Yeah, they caught themselves. They kind of fall down and catch themselves again. It's like, you wonder.
How do they do
I
that?
watch videos of them just to see how they do this stuff. And really, I go up on YouTube and I take a look at those bighorn sheep and how
That is the state.
yes, it's so cool to watch how they survive on the side of a cliff.
And so if you go to our Facebook page, you can actually scroll down and see some of those photographs of the bighorn sheep. And so that's the way we're being creative, is by, doing things we wouldn't normally do, because it was mostly like theater productions and then the amusement park and botanical gardens. And so now
And they actually paid for themselves. The theater, when they had the productions, they were actually paying for themselves doing the productions and generating money from people coming to see the theater.
How much of the property did you say is still left? You've got the carousel.
Yep, the carousel shell. And then there's a plaza.
Oh yeah, the plaza's right there.
Yeah.
And then over to the side of the theater.
So we
utilize.
There's a green area right in front of the theater, which is very beautiful. That's actually where we held the movies, summer movies.
Those are so cool.
It's just a very fun time.
Perfect spot for it.
Families bring their children and blankets and little lawn chairs and things, and they have a big screen that they show movies in.
Yes, and 2016 was some of our biggest films to date.
Yes.
We actually sold out, and that's an open space.
And not to mention that we had, I believe, 3 live performances inside. Excuse me, I'm sorry. 1 live performance, but 2 theatrical movie performances inside of the theater. And this was in 2016, and it was just, the theater was house completely filled up.
Yeah. We had Dave Pilkey in for a book signing, and we did sell out. That's the first time the theater has been booked.
And the movies that you showed.
We showed Star Wars
Star
inside.
Wars.
Oh my gosh, we cranked up Star Wars, and the sound in there and the acoustics
resonates so well for the
We
wood.
have Star Wars playing, and we had
That's not
Sing.
too much for the old wood in there.
And the movie Sing, the animated movie Sing, which was amazing to watch inside the theater because that is about saving a theater. I teared up. I was on the.
I did too. Every time I walk inside of my theater,
yeah, it's just the only thing that gets me is the ghost when I sit in it. Yes, I'm supposed to say that. The ghost is really a good story.
The day after Halloween.
You have to talk about
the ghost stories.
The ghost stories. They always tell me, don't bring up the ghost stories in here. I gotta throw that in every
if you want to learn a little more about it, there is some YouTube video from one of the paranormal groups that came in, and they actually did some videotaping and certified that it is haunted. Well, I wouldn't say haunted, but
occupied. Occupied by.
Because it's good energy.
Yes.
It's good energy.
They saved my booth where I used to sit. They saved it for me. And I really appreciated that. And it's still safe for me.
Yep, and it will always
be. Put your
no
name.
one sits in it.
Did they put the names on some of those scenes in the theater?
Well, I think what a neat idea would be to actually sell seats, and each seat would have the plaque with the person who donated the money.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
I would like to see that happen.
Well, let's put it out there.
Did you hear that?
It's out there.
You donate some money, whether it be $1,000, $100, whatever it is. Well, over $500, get a plaque.
Well, we can't say that.
Well, no, just throw it out there.
You have to bring it up to the board, I suppose, and go about it
the correct way.
Not
Henry's way. Henry.
Which would be a legacy for not only the Elitch Theater, but it would be a legacy for your family also.
That would be awesome to see your name and then see this theater, in the future with your names on those chairs.
And people can say, I helped save the Elitch Theater.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be a legacy
to
share with your children and your grandchildren?
And that's where I'm going to end my paranormal. When I pass away, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be inside that theater.
Well, I hope that you're going to be in heaven.
Well, I think I will be because the devil did put a restraining order. So it's all good.
Trouble.
So with that being said, we had a great time here on KUHSdenver.com, 1:50 p.m. in the Mile High City of Denver with Mary Elitch and Michael Bliss. You want to go to this event right there?
The Children's Day International Film Festival, and all the information is at etfest.com. So check it out. Again, 18 and under are free, but you need to be accompanied by an adult. So make sure you get those tickets. And right now, being on the air here, if you're listening to this, you could get 20% off the adult tickets by typing in Elitch as the passcode for your ticket.
It'll knock off 20%
off Elitch. So there you go. Not only are 18 and under free, get 20% off.
And so we want to have you back whenever we have Michael Bliss and Mary Elitch. They came back last time, but there's always a new audience for us, and I'm glad you got to see them. And Mary Elitch is right there.
Thank you.
So it's been a pleasure, Michael. Anything else you'd like to say before we say goodbye to our audience?
Well, there is First Friday at Denver Open Media with our new gallery. Come check us out. It's a television station studio with live music.
I was trying to get somebody to go over there with me and get up there and no, Michael will love you. No.
And then always keep updated at blissfest333.com with everything we're doing with Blissfest and etfest.com, and then also keep updated on the historicelitchtheater.org website.
So make sure and get that information. Just type it in, and then the key code for that is Elitch for 20% off. So make sure and get there and get your tickets to go down and check out the awesome event.
And thank you very much to the Bug Theater.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Bug Theater.
So we'll talk to you all later.